Congratulations, Coco. When Aryna sat here, she said that she thinks if Iga had won her, she wins the thing today because of how the match turned up. Do you think the way you play today, you beat anyone? It doesn't matter who's on the other side of the net?
She said if Iga won, if I play Iga in the final.
She said that if we go, she didn't mention exactly winning you, but she said if Iga won me, she would win the thing.
I mean, I don't agree with that. I'm here sitting here, and last time I played, no, like to Iga or anything, but I played her and I won in straight sets. So, yeah, I don't think that's a fair thing.
Yeah, that hurts. I mean, especially when you've been playing really great tennis during the whole week. You know, you've been playing against a lot of tough opponents, Olympic champion Iga, you know, and then you go out and you play really bad. Like, I don't know, I think if Iga would win me another day, I think she would go out today and she would get...
The tennis world just got flipped upside down. Again, this time it has nothing to do with trophies, rankings, or rivalries. This is bigger, louder, and far more uncomfortable. Coco Gauff is suddenly at the center of a storm after shocking remarks linked to Aryna Sabalenka surfaced. Comments the Women's Tennis Association never wanted exposed to daylight. Fans are furious, players are divided, and silence is no longer an option. The question is unavoidable now. Will the WTA actually act, or will this be quietly buried like so many controversies before? What began as a routine semifinal between two of the WTA's biggest stars has exploded into one of the ugliest moments women's tennis has faced in years. The match unfolded at the Wuhan Open, a packed arena, blinding lights, and two elite competitors ready for war.
I think today I didn't really handle myself quite well, mentally, I would say. So basically that's it. I was just making unforced errors. Like, I don't know, I have to check the statistics. I think she won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes from, like, if you look from the outside, kind of like from an easy ball.
Everything about the setting screamed classic showdown. But by the end of the night, nobody was debating rallies, aces, or the scoreline. Instead, attention locked onto a single moment, one that slipped by almost unnoticed at first. Cameras caught Sabalenka muttering under her breath after missing a crucial point. At a glance, it looked like standard frustration, something every athlete shows under pressure. Then social media did what it always does. Fans slowed the clip down, boosted the audio, replayed it again and again. And that's when the mood shifted instantly. The words weren't vague, they weren't coded, they weren't subtle. They were racist, plain, and unmistakable. Within hours, the internet erupted. Hashtags surged. The outrage was deafening. Fans demanded answers immediately. Players began distancing themselves online. Commentators froze mid-broadcast, struggling to process what they'd just witnessed live. And through all of it, the most powerful organization in women's tennis said nothing. No statement, no clarification, no acknowledgement, just silence. It felt like the WTA believed ignoring the situation would make it disappear. But this storm wasn't fading, because the player at the center of it all wasn't just anyone. Coco Gauff, the face of the sport's next generation, had been disrespected in front of millions. For 24 tense hours, the entire tennis world waited. No tweets, no interviews, no cryptic posts, just silence. Some assumed her team was managing the fallout. Others believed she was taking time to process the moment.
Because anything can really happen. And yeah, honestly, I mean, the way Aryna was playing the last few weeks, she was the favorite to win. So I think she was the best person that I could have played in the final. Her being #1 in the world, she was the best person to play. So I think I got the hardest matchup just if you go off stats alone. Obviously, Iga being a champion.
But those who know Coco understood something crucial. She doesn't speak until she's ready to make people listen. And when she finally did, everything stopped. Standing before a packed press room, she was calm, steady, and unshaken. No tears, no rage, just resolve. She opened with one sentence that cut through the noise like a perfectly struck winner. "I'm not here to start a war, I'm here to ask for fairness." That line landed heavier than any serve, because from that moment on, this wasn't just controversy. This was accountability. It was about respect. Nothing more, nothing less. Coco continued, "I've worked too hard to let my identity be reduced to a word or a stereotype. I deserve the same respect any athlete does. Nothing more, nothing less. The room didn't just quiet down, it froze. Then came the applause. Not forced, not polite, real. Even reporters who usually hunt controversy just nodded, because everyone in that room understood this was bigger than tennis. What made the moment even more powerful? Coco Gauff never said Aryna Sabalenka's name. Not once. She didn't need to. Everyone already knew exactly who she was talking about. That's what separates Coco from the noise. She didn't lash out. She didn't post an emotional video chasing sympathy. She didn't escalate the situation. She told the truth, cleanly, calmly, and with undeniable class. And then things got messy.
I mean, she's probably emotional about it, so I'm not gonna take it with too much anything. And I do hope people give her a little bit.
Sabalenka's camp went completely silent for 2 full days. Her agent declined to comment. Her coach was suddenly unavailable. The Women's Tennis Association released the vaguest possible response, saying the matter was under review. Translation, we don't know what to do. But by then, the damage was already done. Once the audio went viral, fans didn't stop there. Old interviews resurfaced. Past moments were re-examined. Questionable comments were replayed, patterns were discussed, context was added. Some fans tried to defend her, but most of the tennis world wasn't buying it. The loudest defense was the oldest one in the book. She didn't mean it that way. They said emotions were high, they said pressure got the best of her. They even claimed it was a language misunderstanding. Right, because racism always sounds better when you blame translation. Here's the reality. You don't accidentally say racist things. Pressure doesn't invent beliefs you don't already hold. It just lowers the filter. And that's exactly why fans are furious. Because this isn't about one comment, it's about the mindset behind it.
You talk about the power of social media to help tell your story, but do you think at the end of the day you're still a little bit misunderstood for who you are?
No, I think nowadays people know me as a player and as a person. Like, I feel like people know that, okay, of course she's aggressive, she's passionate, she's focused, and she's fighting for her dream, but also, of course, she's fun and she's nice, she's chill, and she's a completely different person. So I think now people knows me. Maybe like that little situation after French Open, some people don't really understand the intensity of everything, and that you lose the final of the biggest tournament, and then you go to the media straight away, and you're so frustrated, so pissed on yourself, and you're just trying to figure what just happened, and you don't think clean, and then you make this comment, and people go they forget completely about who you are.
Meanwhile, Coco handled everything like a professional beyond her years. Her coach later revealed that Coco cried after the match, not because she lost, but because she felt unseen. He said, "She works harder than anyone I know, and for her to feel like her worth can be reduced to one word, that broke her." Even her parents were heartbroken, but proud. Her mother reportedly told her something that stuck. "Grace isn't weakness, it's power under control." That line became Coco's mantra. The very next morning, she was back on the practice court. No interviews, no revenge posts, no subtweets, just focus. A photo of her walking into the training center, headphones on, went viral instantly. The caption said it all. She doesn't talk. She works. That's Coco Gauff in one sentence. Now let's talk about Sabalenka's response, or lack of one. After 3 days of silence, she finally posted on Instagram, and somehow it made things worse. The message said something like, "Emotions run high in matches. Things can be misunderstood. I never intended to hurt anyone. Let's move forward with respect." No apology, no accountability. Just a vague oops wrapped in corporate language. Fans weren't impressed at all. One comment nailed it. "You didn't apologize. You just said you got caught." Another wrote, "You had 3 days to say this. You could have just said sorry," and they're right. Because when you mess up this badly, emotions were high doesn't cut it anymore. Especially not in a sport that loves to brand itself as graceful, elegant, and respectful. By this point, the Women's Tennis Association had no choice but to step in.
Someone fail and take it as the main thing, So after that, I also had to sit back and reflect on everything, and apologize and make sure that people understand my point, that it was just, I was over emotional, I was completely wrong. So after that, it also took me a little while to explain myself a little bit better. But now I think people understand me even better. And also it was a tough lesson, but it helped me a lot in so many different ways. And right now I don't feel like people still misunderstand me. I feel like now they know me even better.
They released a carefully worded one-paragraph statement claiming the incident was being reviewed internally and reminding everyone that respect and inclusion are core values. Translation: corporate damage control, and a quiet hope that the outrage would fade. But tennis fans weren't letting this disappear. Players across the sport began taking sides, and the support for Coco Gauff came fast and loud. Serena Williams, Billie Jean King, and Naomi Osaka all voiced support, making it clear that this wasn't just about one moment. The message was unified. Enough is enough. Racism in tennis has been ignored for far too long. Even Rafael Nadal weighed in on Instagram, writing, "Respect must come before rivalry. Coco has handled herself like a champion." That comment went viral instantly, and it hit hard. Not everyone agreed, though. Some Eastern European players rushed to defend Aryna Sabalenka, arguing the words might have been misunderstood or that English isn't her first language. Right. Because apparently racism doesn't count if it's spoken with an accent. That defense didn't last long. Most fans called it exactly what it was, an excuse. And as the days passed, the narrative shifted dramatically. This wasn't just a controversy anymore. This was a turning point. Behind the scenes, Coco's family stayed close, supporting her quietly through the chaos. Sources near the family said she was emotionally exhausted, but determined not to let the moment define her. Her father, Coco Gauff, told reporters, "She's not just a great player, she's a better person, and that's what's going to last longer than any title." That statement stuck, and that's exactly what happened next. Coco transformed pain into purpose. She began working with organizations focused on equality in sports and education, then launched a campaign called Serve Right, built around respect, fairness, and inclusion for young athletes. The slogan said it all: fairness isn't a favor, it's a right. The message spread fast. Athletes from basketball, football, and track shared it online. Schools and youth academies started using Serve Right as a teaching tool. Suddenly, this wasn't just a tennis issue. It was a sports-wide movement. Even the WTA was forced to respond publicly. They announced plans to implement cultural awareness training for players and staff, something they had avoided addressing for years. And everyone knew exactly who inspired it. But don't get it twisted, this didn't magically fix everything. Sabalenka's camp was still scrambling, claiming she was apologizing privately to Coco, though no one ever confirmed that actually happened. Meanwhile, journalists kept pressing Coco about the situation in every interview. Her response never changed. Calm, controlled, unshaken. "I've said what I needed to say. I'm focused on tennis now." That's how you shut it down, gracefully but firmly. Because while Sabalenka was posting half-hearted statements, Coco was out there doing the work. She kept winning. She pushed forward. She reached the next Grand Slam, proving she could turn pain into power. She wasn't just a player anymore. She was a voice. Every match felt like a message. Every win sounded like a statement. Fans weren't only cheering for trophies or rankings, they were rallying behind what she represented: fairness, equality, and strength without rage. Even her critics had to admit it, she was handling pressure better than most adults twice her age. When asked later how she managed to stay so calm through the storm, Coco Gauff delivered a line that stopped everyone cold. "My parents taught me that silence can be louder than shouting. I chose to speak when it mattered." Pure class, she could have ranted. She could have demanded bans or fines. Instead, she reminded the world why she's respected, not just for her talent, but for her character. That's the thing about Coco Gauff. She doesn't fight small battles. She changes the entire conversation. The weeks that followed were pure chaos behind the scenes. Sponsors began calling the Women's Tennis Association privately, demanding clarity. Some even hinted they'd pull advertising from future tournaments if the situation wasn't handled properly. The pressure was real. This wasn't gossip anymore. It was business. Media outlets refused to drop it either. Every major sports show ran segments titled The Gauff-Sabalenka Controversy. Panel after panel debated intent versus interpretation. But no matter how it was spun, the outcome was undeniable. One reputation was unraveling, while the other was soaring. Here's the irony, though. Coco never tried to tear anyone down. She didn't call for suspensions. She didn't campaign for punishment. She told the truth and went straight back to work. And that's why public support landed squarely on her side. Quiet strength always beats loud excuses. Meanwhile, damage control went into overdrive on the other end. There were PR-friendly interviews, carefully worded "I'm learning and growing" posts, but the internet doesn't forget. Every time Aryna stepped on court, the crowd reaction told the story, some polite applause, some silence, and plenty of tension. Then came the awkward moment everyone saw coming. At the next tournament, both players were scheduled for the same press day. Reporters tried to spark drama, asking if they'd spoken since the incident. Coco smiled and said, "We're all professionals here. I'm focused on my game." Short, classy, bulletproof. By contrast, the responses on the other side sounded rehearsed, about peace, moving forward, and unity, but lacked conviction. While one side struggled to recover, Coco quietly built something bigger. Her Serve Right campaign exploded online. Kids posted photos wearing the slogan on shirts and rackets. Schools used her story to teach sportsmanship and respect. Even rival players reposted the message, including some who had once stayed silent about racism in the sport. Just like that, a painful moment became a movement. Coco Gauff didn't just earn respect. She reshaped accountability. The WTA announced mandatory cultural awareness and respect training for all athletes, a direct result of her calm but firm response. When asked about the change, Coco simply said, "Progress is slow, but it's still progress." Wise, grounded, focused on the bigger picture. So when she later lifted the Miami Open trophy, it meant more than another title. Looking into the camera, she said, "Winning is great, but standing for something bigger than yourself, that's what lasts." And that's how Coco Gauff turned one ugly moment into a lasting reminder: dignity always wins, even when the system doesn't.